Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another day of live streaming. Welcome to this Monday we have here following Super Bowl that we'll talk a little bit about this morning, but not too much. But now the 49ers gave a good effort yesterday. So it was a good game to watch. But yeah, hope everyone's back and ready for another good week of trading. We'll take a look at the calendar here in a second just to see what we have to expect as far as news this week. And then we'll take a look at the charts and get ready for the opening bell. D. Anderson, Lute, Vivian, good morning. Welcome back. All right, Serge, Dom, good morning. How goes it, everyone? Yeah, I think my voice is a little heavier this morning, probably following all the screaming from the game yesterday, but hopefully it's not too much of a hangover. All right, let's get going, at least pull up the calendar for the week and just, I guess we'll just see what we have on the schedule and see how that's going to impact our trading. All right, so it looks like today we have at the noon, we have an FOMC member speaking, which is not too different than what we had last week, where it seemed like they were speaking nearly every day of the week. They had something to talk about. But the big news is tomorrow at 8:30, we have CPI, which is generally a big price mover and something to kickstart our week. So as we look at our week, Tuesday could either be a planned high on a bearish week or a planned low on a bullish week. So it just really depends on what your bias is and how you see tomorrow playing out. But tomorrow morning, 8:30, when CPI is announced, we can expect for that to really be our driver of the week to set up price action. There's nothing on Wednesday, so we'll have to be careful as we're trading on Wednesday and come back again on Thursday, 8:30 as well. Core retail, Empire State Manufacturing Index, retail sales, and unemployment claims. So lots of things happening Thursday at 8:30 in the morning. You have industrial production at 9:15, and then another FOMC member speaking at 1:15. So Thursday's going to be quite busy. Not to mention the opening bell that's going to be in there with its own volatility. And then Friday again at 8:30, and we have preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiment at 10. So this week we have Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8:30. We'll have red folder news. So whenever we join our session, the good thing is it's already done, but there should probably be a handful of moves before we even jump on every day, since the news is happening at 8:30. So there's our news for the week. We now know what's ahead of us and how to plan our week. But again, today at noon, we have orange folder, but that's all we have today. Right. Not sure how many of you saw the Discord. I threw in my weekly outlook. I've been posting that the last three weeks, maybe 4 weeks. So hopefully over the coming weeks, you guys get familiarized with that and start utilizing that to plan your week. If there's something else you want me to post, just let me know. All right. So if we grab the dollar, right, and as we're looking at the weekly here, last week, I had two levels of liquidity posted, and we ran through both. Just bear with me. Let me grab that back. Okay, that's where we were. We were on. All right, there we go. All right, so the weekly, we wanted to see retest, or I'm sorry, we wanted to see it trade into the fair value gap, the bullish one that was just created last week, and then retest up in this area. And so we have the same thing here on the daily. So we've already had to trade into the fair value gap. We now have it pushing this small little consolidation here. But again, we want to see how it behaves when it made it to 104.3. So right in here. And then how does it behave if it makes it back up to this second level liquidity? So I'll leave both of those levels of liquidity. Saw ES take over its pool of liquidity. It's all-time high from 2 years ago. Now on the daily, we want to see now that prices move to external range, whether we get a return in here to the fair value gap as a trade back before returning to bullish highs, or whether price just continues upwards. We're running out of time here. Let me jump over to Nasdaq. Oops. All right, we had the previous all-time high we saw last week, a huge bullish candle pushing all the way through. And so we really pretty much have the same thing going on with Nasdaq. Are we going to retrace and find ourselves back into the range in here, somewhere 17,780 range prior to moving up, or is this our temporary high and we're going to start seeking lower prices and move down back into these ranges? I don't believe that's the case. I think we're going to find support somewhere in here around 1780, but we'll see as price continues to develop. Let me go back to my notes I had for the week. Okay. Yep. And as I said, if we lose this level, then we're going to retest down here 17,400. So that's what we have to look forward to. But again, I'm going to first look at around 17,800 to see how price reacts there first before thinking about retracing down to this level here. And I don't have it marked up, but I did have a marked up level for last week. We achieved one standard deviation from the last move down, which was here. I believe it was here. I think I'm probably in here, probably this move down. But either way, I've already had marked up 1.5 standard deviation just in case we continue upward. Last week we achieved one standard deviation and then retraced for the rest of the day on Friday. So I have 1.5 as well as 2 standard deviations marked up if price continues to seek higher prices. So with that being said, let's get down to the 15-minute and let's watch the opening bell. And again, welcome to the channel, everyone. Welcome back. Okay, we have the London high still open, not traded to, and the London low, not traded to either. So that'll be an interesting segment there. We have, as far as Asia is concerned, Asia low would be down here. We have not traded to that either. The Asia high we did trade to. So it's the Asia low, London low, and the London high have not been traded to. And then we have New York's coming up in 30 minutes. Yep. The news sniper, good morning. Khaled, TJ, good morning. All right, Tommy, good morning. Right, so as soon as the opening bell started, we had to take out the London low, push through the midnight open, and push towards the Asian low. Let's see if it can reach the Asian low at 18,003. There's displacement. Good morning, Gavin. All right, we're through the first 5 minutes. So far, we've gotten a trade down through the midnight open, rejected off, traded back to the 8:30 open. Equal highs, just above a bearish fair value gap. We also have the new day opening gap here right in the center. The orange bar you see there. So it's playing in between several levels. So we have a bearish fair value gap. We have a new week opening gap. We have 8:30 open here. Bullish fair value gap here. And a midnight open. So essentially what it is it hasn't moved out of the range that it's been in since yesterday, which when we zoom out, we can see it's all in the same range, which is why all of those levels are all within here. So we shall give it time to settle. All right, Fauci, let's get it. Okay, let's go ahead and measure this. Right, we just passed 62% now. London low right at 71%. Yep, just keep in mind today we do have the orange folder at noon and no other news. So there's no high impact news this morning or in the afternoon. Oh, you're trying to see how to confirm what type of day it's going to be? Yeah. Right now, I'm just waiting to see what the opening range is going to be. I don't have it confirmed either. Watching the dollar to see what it's doing. Right now, it's currently selling. We do have the indices all showing bullish candles for now, but of course, this candle right here is what's showing bullish for the hour on NQ, but it's small, it's short lived. The Dow is really the leader right now with the bullish candle, but again, on Friday, Dow was the trailer. So it has a lot of ground to make up if it's going to catch up with the other two. So it's likely that it could be bullish. Um, It's just one of those things we'll have to wait and see once it's confirmed. One thing I like to do is to go through all the time frames, just make sure that price action on each of the time frames is confirmed in the same direction. So you go until you find a time frame that's showing price action is bearish, or not price action, market structure. That market structure is showing bearish, and then you just wait for them all to align, or you look and see where what would it take for all of them to align, and you start coming up with targets that way. Um, but for now, for me, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes and just see where price lands. But just so everyone can see, I'll show you where we are with the other indices. Right, so we can see for the hour, the largest candle rests right here with the Dow. But obviously on Friday, we saw a big push down from the Dow that we didn't see in the other indices. So it needs to push through a bearish fair value gap that the other two indices does not have. You can see they have bullish fair value gaps waiting just below them if they want to go back and test highs of Friday. Whereas highs of Fridays for the Dow is way up here, and it needs to get through that fair value gap first. But we do see a bearish activity here on the dollar. So we see it pushing down. It has its own fair value gap resting below. We'll see if that provides some support or if it breaks down through that level. But this is where I wanted to see once it opened up yesterday. I wanted to see it return, hit the fair value gap when we were looking on the daily that was just below it, which is in this area. And then I wanted to return back to one or both of the levels that it reached last week for liquidity, these two levels. And I want to see how it reacts once it gets there. We can see that we haven't even quite made it there yet, and we're already selling off. So we may see another bullish push until it reaches that level. So that's sort of my prediction for the morning, and that's what I'm looking for. Unless price shows me differently, then that's what I'm looking for this morning. I know FOMC is not tomorrow. Tomorrow is CPI. All right, let's see if we go through this London low once again and target Asia low maybe. Okay, there's a London low one more time, as well as the midnight open. Yeah, let's go to a lower time frame and see if it tips its hand on this time frame. Hmm. Yep. Yeah, there was one right here that even though it was violated, if you had taken a long from here, I mean, your stop would be down here at 18,007. So you'd still be long in that trade. This is a pretty big, it's a 30 something point trade here. So you run for these highs. Which would also then support price moving in that direction if you run those highs. Crypto Queen, good morning. Welcome back. Hope you had a great vacation. Are we in discount at the moment? Let's get to a higher time frame if you're looking for discount. So this would be the last price leg here. Yes, we are. I think. Yep, just barely. 18,037 would be our midpoint, and we're at 18,031. So yes, we are. If you're going for these all-time highs, we are in discount. It's going to be the bullish push price was waiting for. It's a really good start starting up here. On the lower time frame. See what type of retracement we got on this time frame as well. Okay, so we got a retracement all the way down to 88.6%. We got candle bodies resting on the midnight open. We have right now slight rejection from the new week opening gap right here in the orange. McTony's, good morning. Consequent approachment of the daily fair value gap. Okay. There's also gap price. Yep, sure is. Okay. Still finding rejection out of the new week opening gap, even though we saw it push through on this candle. Close back below, tested again to the 50% mark. So far, it's been rejecting. You got 20 seconds left on that candle. Hey, Jay, welcome. Good morning. All right, everyone. 1 minute before 10 o'clock, 1 minute before the hour. Anyone looking for silver bullet? Your hour's coming up. Okay, so we did have another candle break through the new week opening gap and close above, but immediately the following candle is now racing back to the fair value gap, potentially sweeping the low from the last candle. Right, so as of right now, we're basically waiting to see who's going to win between these two levels. All right, so since pretty much the opening bell, we had a retrace down in between the zone of the 8:30 and midnight open, and then we had a bounce off the 8:30, bounce off the midnight, another bounce off the 8:30, and now we're still in the middle of the zone there. Back now to this 10 o'clock, we have our New York session highs and lows. So this buy side liquidity is also the New York high. Obviously, the low that we experienced this morning, just before the opening bell, actually just after the opening bell, the low created from the opening bell becomes the New York low. Okay, it's off. There we go. Now we have our levels marked up that we need to pay attention to. Midnight and 8:30 open. I leave those up all day, even if we trade to them. The balance of the session highs and lows, once we trade to them, I'll delete them. So we have the New York high and low that's still on the table, and we have the London high still out. All right, we have a really tight price range in here, and looks like it's finding some footing, sort of in the equilibrium range of the 8:30 and midnight open. All right, we still want to see if it can make it above the new week opening gap and close above and stay above. Sure. Wondering why things look odd here. I think I marked up the continuous contract as opposed to marking up, and I did. Yep, as opposed to marking up the quarterly one. All right, let me get back to it. Gotta fix it. All right, looks more like it. There we go. What's up, Ray? I was just thinking about you. I was thinking that maybe you were on an extended vacation or something. Right, retesting the 15-minute fair value gap just above the midnight open. The last two 15-minute candles have both pushed out, rejected this area, closed above the fair value gap. All right, we have a retest of midnight open now. And now the question is, will we reject this area back to the 830 open, or will we push further down to the New York low and potentially the Asia low? What a push similar to what we saw right after the opening bell. All right, good morning. Welcome. All right, Zach, good morning. All right, crypto. Yeah, when I saw price action just before the opening bell, I was thinking a sell off of the 830 open possibly, which it wasn't exactly a sell off the 830 open, but it was pretty close. 4 hour and 1 hour. Yep. Yeah, we have a roughly a equal low down at so we have 18007 and 18002.5 ish, that kind of level. Yep. So, oh, okay. I was looking at the 4 hour, but it's essentially the New York and Asia low. Um, I think that's what you're talking about, crypto. Yep. Let me just revisit our dollar, see where we are with it. Okay, so dollars changed its tune this hour. So far, the first 15 minutes, it looks like it's about to put in a high of the day. So go ahead and take a peek. So the dollar is right here, 104.239, which is right close to that first key level it took last week. So 2 hours ago, it put in a high of the day and looks like it's going to eclipse that now. So again, once it gets to 104.263, we want to see how the dollar settles and what it does from there, whether we reject and seek lower prices, potentially down into this fair value gap, or if it continues higher and start approaching that second pool of liquidity that it reached last week. Prior to getting there, we do have pool of liquidity here that it could fail from. So we could push up into a large portion of this candle and then have it reject out. So we'll just keep monitoring the dollar and see where it lands. But right now it looks like it's getting ready to make a high of the day. And it's probably going to send prices lower on the indices, which we already see it's doing so far this hour. But we'll carry on and see how that lands. Oh, it has been? Oh, maybe I missed it then. Oh, you know what? I think I took my Asia from 6. You're right. I think Asia is from starting at 8, which would be here. Just leave it there. All right, that's better. CE of the 4 hour, which is around 18 flat, somewhere in that area. Okay. The 1 hour CE. Okay. Yeah, crypto. I think I had for whatever reason I need to switch my indicator because the indicator I'm using when it does the Asia session low, it has an issue on Monday mornings because it doesn't see Monday evening as setting the Asia high and low. So for whatever reason on Monday morning it still shows Asia as whatever it was showing on Friday. And so I drew it manually, but I do have my time set in for I think 20 from 8 o'clock until midnight, not 6 p.m. So I drew it manually this morning and I took the 6 p.m., which was incorrect. So, yep. So I relabeled it now. Now it's just sell side liquidity now. but I see that's right around your TP1. So if we do reach that level, we would have swept all the lows that people are looking for bullish prices. So then if we get an impulse out of that level, then we could look for longs at that time. All right, I'm looking at the dollar now. It has now reached that first pool of liquidity that it snatched last week. So that retest is on now. Let's see how it behaves. Okay, 17,999 and 17,957. Okay. All right, another retest the midnight open. So far, rejection from that level. Hey, we are still trading inside of the opening range. Opening range is defined from 9:30 until 10 o'clock. All right, good morning, Fred. Hello, Splash. Good morning. So I didn't see him. Right. So far we're getting a rejection. We're getting rejection from that first pool of liquidity revisited by the dollar on the hourly candle. There's still another 37 minutes, so there's plenty of time remaining. I just wanted to give you an update on where the candle is right now. And price still remains stuck between the 8:30 and midnight open. It's not shifted outside of this range just yet. Awesome. Yes, everyone, please like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. Mm-mm. Now, since we've sat in this zone for so long, let me put in a 50% mark in here so we can see the center of it. You see a trend line forming? Oh, Deepak, good morning. Welcome. We're going to step away for just one moment, grab some more coffee. We have another 90 minutes left of our morning session, so just stick with me. Again, if you haven't subscribed or liked the video yet, go ahead and do so. I'll be right back. Yeah, saw it breaking this trend line just before I stepped out, and I was wondering where it was going to land when I got back. And here we are. Touched the 8:30 open once again. Also, we have the new week opening gap here in the orange. All right, New York high within range. Small fair value gap just before there. All right, now we'll retest the new week opening gap. See if now this becomes a floor and it can find some support there. It also looks like it put a fair value gap on top. This is early in the candle though, so we have plenty of time to see if that fair value gap remains. So on this 5 minute, this is the first time we had a candle close outside of the 8:30 or midnight open since the 9:30 candle closed above and then immediately traded back inside. So this is the first time we've had that in an hour. Well, let's see how this follow-up candle closes, whether it closes back inside the range or it's able to just put a wick inside it and close above. Right. Right. So 2 more minutes on this 5 minute candle. Looks like we are getting to penetration above, and potentially it could close above. New York high. Once again in range. 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. All right, there's the New York high gone. There's also buy side liquidity. All right, we have equal highs over here. At 0.58. So it's actually not a bad target for whoever put in 60. I think that was Deepak who put in 60 as his target. Yep, that was Deepak who said he wanted it to break the 60s. Let's see what might be resting just above it. Okay, nothing really. That would be the high of the day. Otherwise, right here. So we'll put that up there, 59.25. Which is that. London high should be between 2 and 5, which is there. All right, there we go. Now we have our chart marked up with the London high, which is still open. We still have also previous day high up there marked up at 18.071. 8:30 midnight open still on the charts. And then we have on the downside, we have New York low that has not been taken as well. So New York low, London high, open session highs and lows. Looks like London high is up next. So New York low should remain open, at least for now. And that might also mean that we're going to be bullish for the day, but we'll see. Right. London high disappearing, gone. Yeah, anyone who's trading the silver bullet would have needed patience this morning. It would have presented itself right here, but would have been a losing trade. Came down, you would have entered somewhere in here, and it would have continued crashing down, sweeping lows. And then it was on the second entry. That would have made things come alive for you. So in this case, this would have been a situation where waiting for the low to be swept first, waiting for the low to be swept prior to looking for the silver bullet would have been very beneficial this morning. Not only that, once the low was swept, you see the candle body sat on top of this previous low. Yeah, this morning patience would have definitely paid if you were looking for the silver bullet, so you wouldn't have taken that first loss. But if you did take the first loss, you would have then needed to also be comfortable enough getting back in if you were going to take the silver bullet and win this morning. Oh, the micro challenge. Crypto, what is what's the daily target on that? Is it was it 40? Was it 40 ticks? I can't remember exactly what the target was on a daily basis. Yeah, so far from the midnight open, it's about delivered about 40 points. 40 points there. If you waited for the break of new week opening gap or 8:30 open, you're about 30 points up now, 25 to 30. Right. We got about 11 minutes left in this hour, and I'm just taking a look at the dollar just to see, just get another update on this hourly candle. So far, it's still showing a rejection from that first pull liquidity it pulled last week. It was also where we had equal highs from, what's that, Friday morning, probably? Yeah, Friday morning during the end of London session between like 4 and 8 o'clock, we had equal highs. So that was also a sweep of those equal highs. Let's see if we continue to get a push downwards for the dollar. And then let's translate that over to the equity market once that's confirmed. Previous day high within range now for anyone in longs. Oh, you took the second one. Okay, got it. Good job. Good job, Turkish. Mm. Okay, got it. 20-point stop loss, 40-point TP, 240 per week. This is on micros. Just long everything. Just hit 2 standard deviation. Good job. Crushing it. Hmm. 83.5 retracement. Exactly. All right, let's see what we got. Took an entry on a 15-minute break and rode it for a quick 2 hour. All right, Zach, good job. Wait for the A plus. Yep. All right, Deepak, good job. Way to go, man. Take care. Enjoy your day. All right, let's see if we can protect these triple lows, these equal lows down here at 18,058. Hey, so we got a new high for E-mini S&P, new high for NQ, and we're pushing for Dow, but Dow still has quite a ways before it takes out the highs from last week. Right now it's trading at 38,810. It needs to make it all the way up to 38,980. Okay, so 170 more points for the Dow just to get to last week's high. That 5-minute fair value gap long. Okay. This moving average is a 9, moving average 9. I'm not using it for anything. It's just kind of there. Let's see. Let's see the setup that Ray jumped into. Same 83.5, but Ray was right. Look how much cleaner this setup instead of doing this like NQ did, where it just played between the 8:30 and midnight open for an hour. So the long was here on this fair value gap. Stop loss below this one, which also would have taken into account trading into this fair value gap if possible. Even then, it still was only a 2.25 point stop loss, which was $125, I believe. No, $112. 112. 1 to 2 was on the top end in this range. But like Ray said, he rode it to the previous highs, same as what NQ did. So you could have rode it up to 50.48 from 50.43 roughly. So you got 5 or 6 points. So it would have been about $300 per contract. But again, the risk would have only been $112 or so. So you may have gone in with multiple contracts because of how low the risk was here. Okay. All right, back over to NQ. And I highlighted these equal lows here. Let's see if these equal lows are able to hold. Hey, Shark Trends, good morning. Did you say the 5-second chart? Uh, all right, HDS, good morning. Welcome back. The 5-second chart. And let's look at that. Not the 5-second. Like every couple seconds, you just get a new candle. It's like it does one move and then it does something else and then it's off to the next candle. Nice. Look at that. All the way back down below the previous day high. Sweep of a low. All right, so we had a sweep of a high, a sweep of a low. Let's see who wins this. All right, there we go. Bulls won that one. All right, let's get back up to a higher time frame. All right, looks like these equal lows are going to survive our macro. And close just above previous day high. Let's get back up to a 5-minute here. Seven-second chart. Looking at the 1 minute and the 15-minute as reference. Yeah, you're right, crypto. People do trade those quick moves. I think that's how Dave trades. Yeah, it is. You're right. This previous day high seems to be the 50% consequent encroachment there. Let me just go ahead and mark that up and see. Yep, it's exactly 50% the previous day high. All right, 11:11. So just a handful of minutes into the new hour. We have about 50 minutes left in this morning session. I've heard that. I've never watched any of his videos or know anything about his course, but I've heard that is so much going on, and just a lot of maybe I don't know if he's off topic or if he's just not always talking about exactly what the move is or what the strategy is, and so it just takes hours and hours, and some people are losing focus. Okay, got it. I didn't realize he was doing that. Man, look at that. The last candle, I thought we were going to push below, and look at it now. Still, previous day high seems to be holding, which is consequent encroachment of that fair value gap. Still got another minute remaining. uh, all right, 30 seconds left on this candle. Okay. Closure below, it looks like. Just barely. $10K. What? Yeah, I pulled up one of his YouTube videos once, and it was, yeah, you're right. It was a lot on the screen. That's for sure. He does a lot of drawing. Uh, oh man. Okay. Yeah, I know I had never really tried. I'd only listened to one of his students, Stoic TA. Right. Maybe we found some support here, right on the previous day high. Looks like maybe. Yeah, I'm same here. I'll just stick with what I already know. It's like I don't need to pull in more strategies. It's just more refining what I have. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. Range ICT. Okay. Strange ICT. Got it. Yep. Hey, let me go back and check and see where the dollar is now. We seem to be in a consolidation zone now. So maybe just resting a bit before the next expansion. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'll check out his. I just pulled it up. It looks like he had one just a couple days ago. How to read market structure, complete strategy in 20 minutes. And that was 2 days ago. And then he had one, a 1 minute scalping strategy 4 days ago. So I'll probably check out the market structure one that he put out. I'll go ahead and drop that link in the chat for anyone who's wondering about that video that Crypto Queen's talking about. There's both links. Yep, you're right. As usual, yeah, you always need to collect your own data. Never take anyone's word for how successful a strategy is. Always make sure you practice it so you understand how to enter in it. You understand what it looks like when it forms, and you believe in its success rate. Expansion getting ready to start. Here we go. Yeah, ES does look pretty strong today. And as Ray pointed out, it was pretty clean as well. Let's just pull over and take a peek at it. Yeah, see, it doesn't have any of the type of back and forth that we saw in NQ. It's just straight up. Even here, it was a straight retracement without much fuss. Yeah, see, look at NQ. This is not something you would have wanted to enter into. Wow, look at that. Look how clean that looks. Yep. It's up about 17 points from that low point of 50.41. Yeah. Wicks are wicked for sure. D. Anderson, I'm sure somebody's still long in here. If not, I'm sure somebody else went long and down here when you had a consolidation waiting for the next expansion. It's got to be somebody there. All right, let's get rid of this Fibonacci since we've expanded out of it. In fact, let's go back. Let's target set and see what we're looking at. Right, half a deviation on this current leg takes us to 1.5 deviations on the previous leg. So somewhere in the 18,115 range. So another 20 points from where we are. Eventually be another settling point or another partial if anyone's in long. Mm, 100 pips. So 25 points. Okay. 18,100. Oh, and you're really close, crypto. Super close. Everyone, don't forget, we have news coming in 30 minutes. 30 minutes, FOMC member Barkin is speaking. Let's see what he's doing and where. Going to speak at the Atlanta Economics Club. All right, so it looks like they're doing their tour. Last week it was DC, New York, I think one other place. Now they're doing the Southeast. Let's see where Waller is speaking on Thursday. Oh, in Bahamas. Okay, so he's going on vacation. All right, FOMC member speaking in 30 minutes. All right, crypto, here's your TP. There it is. All right, let's take a peek and see where we are on the other indices and see who's really leading the charge this morning. We knew it was the Dow from the early start because it started out in a hole from Friday's retracement that it had. And I thought reaching its high was going to be tough and difficult. And look, it's only about 30 points away from it now and pushing hard. So my guess is what we're looking for is it's going to reach its peak. Probably all indices are going to reach their peak just before noon today when FOMC member speaks. And then afterwards, we'll see how price is reacting. But it looks like it's going to go for whatever its high is. And that might be waiting for the Dow to reach its high. And then they're all go on pause until the FOMC member speaks. All right, this was the rejection from the dollar after it reached that pool of liquidity from last week. It retested it, closed below, and now we see so far this hour pushing towards that fair value gap I was looking at, whether it would return down there. We have equal lows as well. So go ahead, sweep that liquidity, touching the fair value gap, and then we'll see if it comes out during lunch. All right. Get back over to the regular schedule program. Let's try to get back in the screen. Missed that big expansion on the last candle. Mm-hmm. Yep, all three at all-time highs, all three. All right, current leg up. We have a 50% extension on it here at 18,114. But from an old level from last week, extension there, 1.5 standard deviations at 18,117. Last week, when it reached 1 standard deviation, we got the retracement. So let's see how it responds when it gets to 1.5. Boo, BooCom. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, lots of people in the room caught the long. Many of them caught the long down here, right around the new week opening gap. Once everything seemed to be confirmed, that seems to be the area where more than not people were catching the long. I think there were also some who may have caught it down in this area, down in the 1825 range. But we did have a couple traders also took ES as opposed to Nasdaq. Yeah, Crypto Queen, if this is what you're talking about, then I completely understand where you're going with this. Yep. Oh, dang. Raise the kings, man. Yeah, that happens sometimes. All right, there's that 1.5 standard deviation being reached. Let's get rid of this Fibonacci. 2 standard deviations, 18,165. Still got another 20 minutes before lunchtime. 20 minutes. Yeah, Money Matrix, you're right. It's moving. Definitely moving this morning. So we'll let it settle where it settles. Don't have FOMO on this one. Yeah, me too. You're right about that. I want it clean down. When it's a break of this previous high, so I don't want it to support price at all. We got equal lows right here. Sweep these equal lows, flip price action bearish, retrace back in to retest the previous day high, as well as the 50% of the breaker here. And then you get a breakdown in price. Going for a sell side liquidity at 18,003. So take it from 70 down to 0. Yep. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the news event at noon brings us. I mean, it could be that we get the retracement now, and as soon as we get to noon, then price resumes in the direction it was going. But we'll have to see. It's just some sort of economic event, economic forum here. Shark, it's right here. The Atlanta Economics Club. So that's all. It's medium impact. So we're not 100% sure what it does. Sometimes medium impact, you won't see any reaction from the market, and other times during medium impact news, you still see an opening range type reaction from the market. Oh man, thank you. Big want to send my appreciation to everyone who's liked the video so far. Really do appreciate it. I didn't even have to ask today. So thank you guys. Thank you everyone for participating and supporting. All right, back in the fair value gap. So we'll see if this is where price finds support or if it continues to break down. We have a gap below and then another gap. So there's 4 that we're looking at right now. I have my eye on the third one because it's inside of what potentially could be a bearish breaker. It looks like maybe that high is being retested. I just took a peek and the Dow is still pushing higher, even though there was a retracement, small retracement here on Nasdaq as well as ES. Dow is not showing that. Dow is still pushing because it hasn't reached its high yet. The all-time high is from Friday, so the Dow is almost there. 38,978. It currently has already traded to 972, so it's only 5 or 6 points away, which for the Dow is nothing. That's a small 1 minute candle. Bearish break at 1135. Right on the 1 minute. I tried not to draw any breakers from the 1 minute this morning, so I haven't. Let's see where we are. Oops. I mean, 1 to 2 already delivered 20 points there. That's if you took the fair value gap. If you took the breaker, all right, that 1 to 2 also has been delivered. They're about the same, around 20 points each. All right, just wanted to go back and see what the 5 minute was looking like. All right, that's a very bearish candle, pushing right through what used to be a bearish fair value gap. I'm sorry, bullish fair value gap. Still got another 20 seconds to close below 18,097. Okay, this is about what we expected. Again, in another 10 minutes, there's medium impact news coming. It's also the lunch hour. Entered at 109. Okay. You got a good entry inside of the breaker. And you've already gotten 20 points if that's what you were looking for. If you were looking for more, see where the targets could be. Okay, we got equal at this bullish breaker. We have, well, I'm sorry, this is what we're hoping will become a bearish breaker on the 5 minute. We have equal lows here, so you could expect it to push through, maybe return in and then sell out of this area. At least that's what I'm expecting from the 5 minute time frame. But before we get there, we definitely have to break through 18,063. Yeah, crypto, I'm trying not to do 1 minute breakers anymore. I'm trying my best. Okay, it looks like the 3 and the 5 minute breaker are the same on this bearish one down here, crypto. So it's the same whether you use the 3 or the 5. Hey, we want to see this next candle. We want to see the next candle sweep this low. We do not want to see it continue building higher. And if we do, it's because it's only revisiting the breaker. So if it revisits the breaker, that's fine. But we want to see price continue to break down. We go back down to the 1 minute so we can see the smaller time frame. Consequent encroachment of the 15-minute fair value gap. Okay. Okay. Yep. Yep. So we want to get a failure somewhere in here. See if that fair value gap can provide it. Provide the failure as well as provide momentum to sweep the lows down to 18,084. Sweeping those lows would then get a push down back down to where the previous day high was at 18,071. And then a further push below that gets us back down to the equal lows of 18,064. Excuse me. If we do get a retrace, or I'm sorry, if we get a retest of this breaker here, it's on the 1 minute. We do want to see a failure. We don't want to see it puncture through and close inside, but still leave a wick above. We don't want to see that. We want to see the wick and body and everything fail inside of the breaker, and then we get a breakdown. Okay. Oh, thanks. Thanks, crypto. Yeah, I had that sneeze come up. Just overtook me for a second. Enter on a fair value gap after the 1 minute CLD would have given 115 ticks. Yeah, that's true. Right here. especially if you say entering on a 15-minute fair value gap, which would have been right here at 090. Right, so we did get a reentry into the breaker here. Not sure how many of you took that short, but there was a reentry in the breaker. The breaker was at 107.5. This wick made it all the way up to 108.5. Want to reiterate, news in 2 minutes, news in 2 minutes. All right, let's see if this low can be taken at 18.099. All right. It was able to take out that low. Let's see now if we run for these lows back down to the fair value gap. Looks like we have a market maker sell model here. One level here. Second level. And then back down to consolidation at 071. Anyway, everyone, we've gotten to the end of our session this morning. So thanks everyone for being here. And we have another session coming at 1300. So the afternoon will start in approximately 1 hour. If you're trading during lunch, remember news is coming. It's starting right now. We have a low here at 18.083. And then pay attention to how price reacts if it makes it back down to the previous day high. So if you get a sell-off down to this previous day high at 71, you want to make sure it trades below this breaker at 63 and closes below. Once that confirms, then you could be looking at a short potentially. Or at least that's how I'm seeing the market right now. So happy trading during lunch for anyone who's doing so. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see everyone back in just 1 hour. Cheers, everyone. Thanks.